Good day guys, Robo here with an Archer Flush tutorial. Now, sorry I've been pretty AFK recently. I've just had other things going on in life and I've just not really been interested in making videos for the past year. But hopefully this will change. Well, obviously it has changed, I'm making this video. But hopefully this will continue and I will make more videos going into the future. And there will hopefully be some more game casting. I am running a tournament at the moment, so I'll try to cast some of those games at some stage. But, anyways, back to the video. An Archer Flush, we're going to basically discuss what you want to achieve with an Archer Rush, what the build order is for it, and then just some hints and tricks that will make doing this build order, and all build orders really, just help you do them in an effective manner. So, we're going to start with what is an Archer Rush. The hint is in the name, you are rushing for archers. So you're going to get up to the Feudal Age as quickly as you possibly can. And ideally, for someone who's just learning this build order, you'd start with say a 12-minute goal. And then as you get better and better with the Dark Age, Villager Micro, TC Micro, etc., you'll get it down to 11 minutes. And then the ideal time is approximately the 10-minute 40 mark. Somewhere around there. And then once you get to the Feudal Age, you make 2 archery ranges, and you just start making lots and lots of archers. And you follow on from that, you'll get a blacksmith as soon as you can afford it, and you'll get fletching, because it's a really, really strong upgrade for your archers. It gives you +1 attack, +1 range, which just makes life so much easier for killing units, microing versus units. It's just one of the best upgrades you can do in the Feudal Age, to be honest. And then after that, you've got a couple of options. You can transition to making extra archery ranges and just continue the flush, but especially for this video, I would recommend doing just a fairly quick castle time. Because in Feudal Age, it's generally extremely difficult to fully finish off an enemy. Because they can always just stonewall their base, or build some towers to defend their base, and then your Archer Rush is going to basically die. Or at least not do enough damage to make it worthwhile to go all in with archers. Whereas if you can get to Castle Age, you can make a siege workshop and get rams and mangonels and just siege units to help you kill their town. So yeah, and then you try to get to Castle Age before the 25-minute mark. That would be your ideal goal, but you can get it down to as little as around 22 minutes. Which I think, from memory, that's what this video will be. I've recorded this game, oh god, at least a week or 2 ago, so I can't exactly remember it. But that is a highly idealized situation. I'm sure a 2K Voodoo player could do significantly better than I can. But because I'm not being attacked by the AI, and there's just no harassment, nothing going on, so my build's as close to perfect as I can personally do it. So yeah. So, the build order itself now, we'll quickly discuss this, but it will be written down in the video description, and that will probably be easier for you to read and acknowledge, because I find it's really difficult to keep track of what I'm saying, and I'm the person who's saying it, so for you people just watching, oh god, it must be horrible. But, anyway, we have the standard 6 on sheep, which everybody does, for every build order in existence, basically. Then you have 3 to wood, 1 villager goes to collect your boar, and then 1 more villager goes back onto sheep. Now, the primary reason for this is that once you... after you've sent your villager to collect the boar, you don't have the 100 wood you need to build a mill. So, you send a villager to eat some sheep because you can't afford the mill, and there's no point sending villagers to berries if you can't build the mill, because then they just have to walk back, and then that's just wasting time. And then after that single sheep fill, you'll send the next 4 villagers to berries. Along the way, they will build a house and then build the mill. And then finally, you'll send 2 villagers to sheep. Now, after this stage, you do not need to make any more villagers set to food. Your last 5 villagers, if I remember correctly, will be going to wood. 3 of them to your original lumber camp, and then 2 more to a new one at another wood line somewhere, which we can just see happening right now. And then before this, you'll make a single farm with whichever boar lurer is the most injured. That's just to try to keep these villages working efficiently underneath the town center, because as you can see at the moment, there's 2 different sheep being eaten by about 4 or 5 villages each, and that's just to get the best food economy going I possibly can. Then you'll obviously do loom, ideally, as late as possible, so in this case, immediately before clicking the Feudal Age. But in a real game situation, sometimes you'll have to do it earlier because you don't have enough food, or you think you're going to get rushed, or whatever. And that's completely okay. You might have a second or two of idle time, but you should be pretty fine getting the food income. Now, after clicking up to Feudal Age, things get a little bit tricky. From the villages underneath your town center, you send 3 more to that new wood camp you made, so you should have 11 on wood total. And you also send 2 villages to gold. Now, because those 2 villages, if they drop gold for the entirety of the Feudal Age advanced time, they should gather close to 100 gold. And then that will basically give you enough gold to make your first 2 or 3 archers, and then whatever new villages you create are all going to go to gold, and just support your archer production. Now, from here, there's really not much else to build, or it's basically just wait till you get to Feudal Age, or other than build another house in your barracks. But once you get to Feudal Age, you need to prioritize making your first archery range, getting the first wood upgrade, double bit axe, because that helps your wood eco immensely, and because you're making a wood heavy unit, or a unit that needs wood, unlike say scouts, then you need to be able to have the wood upgrade, and it's basically necessary for every build order ever, because you need wood for farms, you need wood for everything. And then after doing those 2 things, you'll then build a second archery range as soon as you have 175 wood. Now, like, sometimes this might just be a 5-10 second gap, sometimes it might be 20-30 seconds. It's not going to kill you. Okay, now ideally you'd get it right away, but needs must. If it's a little bit slow, you can deal with it. Then you'll get horse collar when you can afford it, because you're going to be making farms to keep making villages. Because at the moment you've only got 5 villages gathering food. 4 on the berries and that single farmer. So you're going to need to start getting more food income quickly if you want to get fletching in a decent time, and if you need to make skirmishes for some reason. For instance, like you've run out of gold, or the enemy's got more archers than you somehow. It's helpful to have the extra food income. And then from this stage on, it's basically you queue up an archer in both your archery ranges, and then you make a farm. And then while this is going on, you're sending more villages to gold until you have 8 or 9 villages on your gold mine, because that'll give you enough for 2 archery ranges constant production, and will also give you enough to be able to afford fletching and start saving up the Castle Age. So there we are, and then as soon as you've got the wood, you build you build a blacksmith, because you want to get fletching, maybe even the archer armor upgrade at some point, but you just keep going like that. Like as soon as you've got a steady food income, so you've got to about the 4 or 5 farm stage, you'll build your blacksmith, you'll do fletching, and then you'll go hopefully do a lot of damage to the enemy. Like, so you see we're building the blacksmith now at about the 13-minute mark, which isn't bad, and we've got about 6 to 8 archers currently in the archery ranges. So this would be the perfect time for you to go attack, because hopefully by the time you get to the enemy, you'll have fletching just about finished, and even if it isn't done, you'll be able to get into the enemy base with 6, maybe 8 archers and just start to harass them. Because like if you compare this rush to a scout rush or a drush, it's quite slow. Like a drush, you're in the enemy base at the 10-minute mark. A scout rush, you're in their base about the 12-minute mark. So you're about 2 minutes late, 2 to 4 minutes late, sorry, I should say, which is really quite significant. Now, please excuse me getting housed here. This happens to everybody, and it's just a part of playing AOC, really. Then, from here on, it's basically just keep making archers and try to get up to the Castle Age. But I should mention that, for me personally, I don't recommend doing an archer rush once you get to a semi-decent level, which I would say is about 1800 on Steam, 1400-ish on Voobly, purely because I don't feel that it's a strong enough rush for the circumstances. Because, as you can see, we're not really attacking until the 14-minute mark. So unless you're able to fully wall your base, which is going to cost you a lot of wood, and is going to delay your archery ranges, then you're going to take some harassment from the enemy drush, or scout rush, or trash forward, or trush, or whatever army composition they're going for. Which is just going to negatively affect your archer rush. Like, if they deny your gold villages, boom, you can't make archers. And your eco is not set up to make skirmishes because you've only got a single farm by the time you get to Feudal Age. So your eco can very quickly fall apart if you get rushed before you're ready. But well, I guess basically what I'm trying to say is that archer rushes are a good way to get used to doing a build order, I would say, and definitely discovering how to balance your wood, food, gold eco. Because as we can see right now at about the 17-minute mark, we're starting to float a nice amount of food. I've already done the wheelbarrow upgrade, which you should try to do between the 14 to 16-minute mark, ideally. So my farms are really, really efficient, and I'm starting to float food and start to prepare to go up to the castle age. Like, I'm halfway there on the food count. Gold is a little bit lacking. I could send a couple more villages to gold if I really wanted to. And you can see that every time I've been housed, I've either done wheelbarrow or town watch. Purely because I want my town center to be working. And like, yeah, town watch isn't an amazing upgrade. Like, it helps you a lot. Like, we can see the line of sight boost is quite massive. But compared to a villager, it's not the best thing you can do. And we'll also see that I'm replacing a lumber camp because the villagers are walking a little bit too much from my mind, and I can afford the wood basically. So here we can see I'm getting ready to go castle age. I'm floating the gold. I'm almost there on the wood. So this has been a pretty perfect build order. I'm going to click up in, I think it's about 30 or so seconds from memory. So we're going to see that when I get there. And then after I click up, we're going to skip. No, we're not going to skip it. We'll watch the castle age click up because we'll see and we'll discuss what I failed to do as a part of this tutorial. So here, so we've clicked up. There we are, we've clicked up. So our priorities here are going to be doing the gold mining upgrade because we're going to need quite a bit of gold once we get up to castle age. Do the archer armor upgrade and redistribute some villages from our farms onto wood and gold. Because what I'm going to do here is what I would personally do if I was going for a full archer rush. Is I would make at least one, maybe even two more archery ranges so that I have more archers. Probably 3 is the best option in getting an early siege workshop or an early university for ballistics. But for this, we're just going to go with mass archers and just hypothetically go and just kill the enemy with so many crossbows that they just can't stop you. And then, because of this, 4 archery ranges means we need to double our gold income. Because we've got double the archery ranges. So gold mining upgrade goes a little bit towards that. But what I should have done is built a new mining camp on the opposite side of this gold mine. Because what we'll see is that once I get to castle age, I'm not going to have enough gold to keep making units. Especially after doing the upgrades. The crossbowman and bodkin arrow upgrade. So that is a slight problem. But what do you do, man? Sometimes you make mistakes, and you just gotta try to learn from it. And I think I've done a fairly good job at that, I think. Next time I'll remember to put more villages on gold. Alright, so we're about to hit castle age. Hit castle age. First thing we do is refresh crossbowman. Do the second wood upgrade, which is bowsaw, because the 20% faster wood chopping just helps your economy so much. And do bodkin arrow. Because those 2 upgrades specifically for the crossbow and bodkin arrow, more than double their efficiency, in my opinion, in a fight. Because it's +2 range, +2 attack, and +5 health between those 2 upgrades. And that's a massive difference for your crossbows. and it just makes them able to kill off pretty much any Feudal Age army that they come across. And especially with this number of crossbows, I've been constantly making them since the 11-minute mark. And so I've got a good, 30 odd crossbows, at least by this stage, which is a pretty decent amount. So this is pretty much the end of the tutorial. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to just, or obviously leave a comment. My email address should be down below if you have any recorded games you'd like to send in if you wanted me to have a look at them. Preferably Voobly recorded games, because it's a lot easier to watch them and spectate them and analyze them efficiently. Thank you all for watching. See you next time.